Guys, so here we've got our finished robot design. This is another student's work, and I'm going to show you just a few things we need to be aware of before we submit this, and also how to create the the box in which the robot will be printed out from, so we make sure that it's all to scale. Now, as you can see, we've got our head, arms, body, and it looks like the student didn't want to have any legs, but that's okay. We've got, looks like a hole in the bottom for the neck to rotate on. Looks like we've got two holes here, so I'm not too sure what he's doing with his design, but it looks pretty good to go. So you'll notice that he's pulled his robot apart. We've got the arms separate to the body, to the head, and if you want these parts to move, this is exactly what you need to do. I'd even recommend spacing these out a bit more. So I'm going to click and drag around this arm here, go up to the move tool, 4 arrows at the top there, and just move them apart a little bit more, just to give them a bit of space. Now, we need to make sure that this robot is to scale, that it's all the right size, and we could go through with the tape measure and check all the measurements, but there's a better way of doing this as well. We're actually going to construct the space of the 3D printer. It's pretty easy to do. I'll go nice and slow so we can all keep up. Now at the top here we've got our rectangle tool. And if you can't see that, just click on that black arrow there, or alternatively you can just hit R as a shortcut on the keyboard. And I'm just going to move over to the right of my robot here, and I'm just going to click on the floor once and start dragging out my square. Now I'm not clicking any buttons, all I've done is left click once and I'm just dragging the mouse. Now I'm not going to click a second time. What I want you to do is to start typing. You don't have to click down in this dimensions box down here, you just need to start typing. Now the dimensions are 120, 120, and I'm going to hit enter. Now, I've made sure that I'm in millimeters, but if you've been working in centimeters, you just want to do 12, 12. Okay, make sure this is 120 millimeters or its equivalent. Alright, and so we've got our square down here, and this is the base of the printer. This is the dimensions of the base. We're not done yet. We also need to make the height. So, continuing with the rectangle here, I'm going to click in this left corner. I've just clicked once and I'm going to start moving up. Now as you can see, sometimes this rectangle is continuing on the floor, on the what we call the x-axis, which we don't want. We want to go up like that on the y-axis. So if you find that you are clicking and dragging and it's not going up where you want it to go, just rotate the camera down until you're almost flat, and that's going to make moving this on the y-axis a lot easier to do. Again, I'm not clicking a second time, I'm just going to type 120, 120 and hitting enter. And that's our length, our height, and our width all taken care of. Now one final thing we need to do, just to give this a bit of space and also so we don't start affecting the mesh, is we're going to go to the black selection tool up the top, clicking and dragging around our new shape we've created so everything is highlighted blue. I'm going to right click and go make group. Now if you don't see that make group option, just do it again. Click and drag around, and you want to right click on the mesh and make group. Now what we've done here is we've locked this out so other mesh can't affect it, and we've also now can see the full dimensions of the box. We've made a cube. Now what you need to do is place all of your objects here inside of this cube, so we know that when we print it out, it's all going to fit on that one print, in that one box. So to do that, you could either move your pieces one at a time. So we can click and drag around our arm, select the move tool, And I find moving, the best way to do that is wherever you click and start dragging is the point that that's going to connect with. Let me give you an example. So if I click on this bottom right corner here, then it will snap to that bottom right corner. So I can snap it there. See how it's connecting with the bottom right corner? So all I need to do is place that there. There you go, nice and flat. So I could do that one at a time. I might do the heads. Select that bottom right corner again. Actually, let's do the top right, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So that now, that left corner is snapping to the mesh, which is what we don't want. We're going to face on the wall. It makes things difficult. So I'm going to Control Z that, select that bottom right corner again, and that makes it nice and easy to place. Now I don't want you to place your parts too close to each other. You need a gap of about, that looks about right. Let's do a measurement there and see what we're looking at. So that is 13 millimeters. I think that's plenty of space. And we'll check this other one too. Yep. 20's there, 30's there. What's this one here? 10. 10's fine. I think that's enough space. 10 millimeters, plenty of room. If you put them too close to each other, it can affect the quality of the print when it comes out, which is what you don't want. So I've got this last couple of pieces here, and I think, because I've moved these around already, maybe I can just select them all, get that move tool, and we'll see how we go about placing these all in the one spot. Not quite. Nearly there. So we've got all these pieces here. I'll just click and drag. And this little guy. Again, I'm going to go for the bottom. Click the bottom, which enables me to move it and connect it with the bottom. And this guy here. Now, as soon as I've done these, there is one more thing we need to be careful of. And it actually will affect what gets printed out. So if you don't do this step, you may find that your print doesn't work how you expected. What I'm looking at is all of these faces here. So what we call these panels, these are faces. They will render out. And I'll show you what I mean about that. So I'm going to go to, you won't have this option, but this is what I see when I go to print. So I'm exporting this. Let's call it Robot 2. I'll put it in the Year 8 folder there so I know where to find it. So let's go to Year 8. Ooh, it's a funny sound. Hopefully that's not affecting our quality. I might pause it there just in case.